Okay, so we are wanting to add together these two fractions and then simplify. So how do you add two fractions? Well, step number one, find, well, here, let me say this. Factor the denoms. So that's the first step. See, this one needs to be factored. This is multiply, multiply. So in other words, this denominator is x times x, 4 times 4, 1 plus 1 minus, right? Positive 4 times negative 4 makes negative 16. Like that. Let me get there. So, so that's the first thing. So let me bring that on down so we can get this straight. So I'm bringing it over here. So we get the first one plus the second one. Okay. The first one is 3. 4x plus 4. The second one is x plus 28. 4x plus 4x minus 4. So that's the first step. Factor any denominators that need to be factored. You need to do that. Not the tops, but you might wonder, should we factor them? No, because our first goal is to find the common denominator. Really, we don't care about the tops right now. We'll worry about them later. Our first focus is denominators, because we got to get a common denominator, which means we got to begin by factoring. And now, step number 2 is find the common denominator. What and how do we find the common denominator? It's one of each type of letter package. Call them letter packages. One of each type. So in other words, we go, okay, we need an x plus 4. And then, oh, we have another one. Do we need another one? No, you only need one of each type. One of each type. So that's going to be the next line. I'm gonna make both denominators the same. So the LCD, the common denominator, is going to be x plus 4 and x minus 4, right? One of each type. Again, you don't need 2 of the x plus 4s just because there's 2 of them. We don't need them both. We just need one of each type. And so the common denominator is x plus 4, x minus 4. So that's what we've got. We've got to make both fractions have that common denominator. Okay, and then step number 3. Multiply top and bottom of each fraction. Multiply top and bottom of each fraction to make same denominators, right? So notice I got to make this x plus 4 become that common denominator, right? You can't just magically say, okay, he is, you got to do something to make him become that. So what do you need to do? You got to multiply him by x minus 4, top and bottom, right? Multiply top and bottom of each fraction to make same denominators. So this will distribute 3x minus 12. Is that good? And now what about this guy? Well, nothing. It needs nothing. It's already got this already matches the common. So then just bring down the top, no change at all. So we don't change the fraction on the right at all because it's already got the common denominator. Does that make sense? You only mess with a fraction. You only do something on the top and the bottom if it doesn't already match the common denominator. So let me make sure this is clear. So first thing I did is I had to factor in this denominator, okay? And then I had to look at these guys and go, what's the common denominator? Well, it's one of each type. So I knew I needed x plus 4 and x minus 4, one of each, in order to be common denominator. And then you've got to basically multiply top and bottom of the fractions to make the denominator match the common. And this one, the second one, already did. He already had the common denominator, so I didn't need to mess with him top and bottom at all. So I just do nothing, top and bottom. So the second fraction doesn't change at all because he's already got the common denominator. But the second one, I needed to multiply top and bottom by x minus 4 to make him have the common denominator. Now we can combine. So that's step 4 now. Combine to one fraction. Now that they have the same denominator, you can put them together, right? You can only combine two fractions when they have the same denominator, add or subtract. So what happens? 3x and 1x is 4x. Right here, I can change the color if it's helpful. So 3x and 1x is 4x. 3x, 1x, and then 28 take away 12. What is that? 16? Yeah. All right. We good to there. We combined to one fraction, right? Because they have the same denominator. So we can combine them together as one fraction with that same denominator, and then just combine the tops. Now, last step basically is to reduce, but you know that you cannot cancel added, subtracted items, right? I can't go, 4 cancels 4 and x cancels x. You can't do that. Why? Because of this adding right here. Because, we cannot cancel added, subtracted items. So what do? Instead, you know what the answer is, right? Instead, factor the top. So I can factor that top. 4x and 16, you can take out a 4, huh? The whole fraction thing in the bottom is still the same. On the top, then, I can take out a 4, and that leaves x plus 4. See, right? Because that 4 times x goes back to 4x, and 4 times 4 goes back to 16, right? This 4 can distribute, goes right back to that, doesn't it? Okay, so instead factor the top, and then you can cancel, right? You can go x plus 4 cancels x plus 4. Because they're multiplied now. Cancel only multiplied items. So what are we left with? When all is said and done now, we're left with 4 on the top and x minus 4 on the bottom. You don't need the parentheses on the bottom anymore because there's nothing to separate it from right now. This x minus 4 is all there is. So there we go. And can we cancel these 4s? No. Again, you can't cancel added, subtracted items. So we're just done right there. This is our answer. That's as simple as it can get. We cannot cancel those 4s because they're on the bottom. That one's a subtracted 4. You cannot cancel added, subtracted items. All right, so running back over it, what did we do? We did a lot of steps there, didn't we? So from the beginning, we had to factor the denominator, and then we had to find a common denominator, which means one of each type. So we looked at this and this. We said, oh, okay, we need x plus 4 and x minus 4. And then you've got to make those fractions have that denominator, that common. So we multiplied top and bottom of this one by x minus 4 so that he would match the common. We distributed that on the top. And now the second one already matched the common. He already had the common denominator, so we did nothing, top and bottom of him. And then now that they have the same denominator, we combined them into one fraction, adding the tops together. And then we wanted to simplify, reduce, but you cannot reduce added items. So we factor, instead we factor the top, take out a 4, and we can cancel the x plus 4s. And there we go.